Hey all, Nick's here. I just wanted to go ahead and show a little bit of the reason why I really like the races that are coming out, and especially this new one. Now that we have the new interesting flasks that are coming out, or that have already been out but haven't really been explored to great detail. Um, I'm just gonna explain a little bit about what I expect from the upcoming races. Um, Usually, whenever I make a new character, I plan out a spreadsheet. On the left, I have all of the characters or all of the quests that I plan on getting rewards from, whether or not they matter. Um, and there's an interesting concept I've been wanting to try out for races for quite a while now that I haven't really gotten the opportunity to because there hasn't really been a benefit to doing so yet. But first of all, I'm planning on trying this in the 4 hour. I don't really like the 1 or the 2 hour because it's based largely on luck, and there's a lot fewer opportunities for people to screw up their builds or screw up their playstyle. So it's a lot harder to like have your planning really matter in a race. And I didn't really have the opportunity to plan a 3 hour race build, so I basically just used that race to level up a character. but um, regardless of that, this is what I'm planning on testing for the 4 hour race. And I'm just going to explain a little bit about what I'm going to do for that one. Just to kind of give you an idea if you're planning on making one, whether or not, or what you should be planning. So, when making a character, you want to find the two abilities that you're going to be trying to use. You're going to need some sort of an AoE and some sort of a single target ability. So for single target, I want to use double strike because I have a few evasion nodes in my tree right at the start here that are really going to benefit a lot from having a shield. So I'm going to be wanting to use a shield, and the best single target ability for that is double strike. I'm also going to have Viper Strike at some point. That may or may not get used based on available gem slots. And my AoE is going to be a combination of Poison Arrow and Fire Trap. I made a joke video yesterday about how overpowered Poison Arrow is, and I mean, I was kind of half joking, but I was also kind of being serious. Poison Arrow is really good because it doesn't really require gear. So if you're running Poison Arrow, you can just have a bow on your weapon switch, just swap to it and shoot things up. What I'm looking for on the bow is gem level, because it's the only thing that buffs Poison Arrow's damage is gem level. And attack speed is also good because it means I can switch back to whatever I'm using on my main hand. I also have a few requirements for my sword and or related jewelry. And I need Mana Leech on that because this build has tons of mana problems. If I can get Mana Leech, I can run 2 Quicksilver Flasks. And I'll explain a bit more about that coming up here. The main thing that I wanted to try, though, on this particular run, because it is a 4-hour race, I wanted to try starting out the race Duelist, killing Hailrake, and switching to Ranger after stashing everything. And I'm curious if this will allow me to pull ahead in the race using 2 Quicksilver Flasks, despite starting off early. Or despite starting late, because I had to switch characters. And I'm really curious if this will work or not. The only downside to something like this is you have to farm a lot more, but I think that's not too big of a downside, to be honest. Seems pretty good. Because that allows me to get both Poison Arrow and Viper Strike, in addition to Double Strike really early on, which I don't think the build would work without Double Strike this early. I mean, I'm sure it would, but I would lose out on some other good things. So planning out all of your quest rewards and what you're doing is very important, so that you don't get confused mid-race on what you're doing. And it's especially important if you're using a build that you're not familiar with too, because if you're not like practiced, like I haven't tested this build yet, and it's coming up later. Later today I need to run a test of it once, and then I'll probably test it again in the race and see how it does, and if I like it I might run it later for future 4 hours. But there's a lot more than just choosing a build and deciding on it. I also have the skill build planned out here, and whenever you plan out a skill build, you never want to build for your optimal level. You always want to build a little bit over it. Realistically, I probably won't get past this point in this build. And I mean, I enable myself to get these if I get higher level if I need. There's more life nodes around. There's more damage nodes if I need it. But I'm just sticking this point here for no reason, because why not? And the reason is, if you're in a race, a lot of the time you're panicked and you don't really know what to do. If you overlevel yourself, if you're overleveled, you're probably already doing well, so you're going to want to keep your advantage, obviously. So you're going to want to just have something to go by out of memory and just click, 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 click. So that you don't get confused and caught up in the race halfway through. And that's certainly something that's it's good to plan out a build for a little bit higher level than you expect. And it's also good to plan out multiple paths for your build as well. So, like right here, you see I have the path up here, which is damage. I'm not going to start out this way. I'm going to start out going probably down here to get some life early on. But the point is, once I get the life I need, if I find that my life is good, I have other options. I can decide I need to go for more attack speed or accuracy or whatever down here. I can decide I need more movement speed. I can decide I need more flat damage. I have options available to me. And the reason you want to have options available to you is because the gear that you can get in a race can influence so much. If you just get this giant crushing greatsword in Act 2, it really doesn't matter what damage nodes you get, because that will just carry you through the rest of the game. So you can be safer and start picking up life nodes and resistance nodes if you need to have them to help you out later on. And that's something that I find really, really helpful. Obviously, this build won't be using greatswords, but, you know, just putting that out there as an example. Otherwise, I mean, I don't know if this build will work. I haven't tested it, and I could test it and find out that these damage nodes are unnecessary or inadequate or something, and whatever. But I mean, preparing for your build is just as important as actually executing the build in a race. So that's some of the... No, go away. Never again. So that's some of the things that I put into planning a build. Just some thoughts. I mean, I don't know if this will be good. This could be the worst build ever. But I have my single target options for clearing things like Brutus. I have my AoE options. I think it'll be good. I think it'll work. I know what the build's weaknesses are, and I know what I need to look out for on gear, and I have a solid plan. The only problem with a build like this is I'm playing a kind of half melee build, and I'm only going to be having one mana potion if I'm running double Quicksilvers. So I might actually plan on swapping those out intermittently. I'll hit like Sins 2 and then replace a mana potion with another Quicksilver when I get to town, and then after I finish or get to Sins 3, or finish Sins, and then go to Vol Runes, I might swap it out for that mana potion again. I don't know. I haven't tested it, but it should be fun. So if you're planning on racing, and you're planning on making your own build, which I would definitely suggest because it's one of the most fun parts of racing, I would definitely recommend just taking some time and thinking about what you're doing and planning everything out just so you have an idea of where you're going. There are some really good resources out there. This is a Google Docs spreadsheet of all of the quest rewards for all of the classes. So you can just run through there and go, bam, I want this, I want this, I want this, and that'll stop you from getting confused in a race or panicked or whatever when you have to grab a quest reward really fast. You'll know exactly what you're looking for. You won't have to waste time looking through these 10 or so quests. I don't know how many there are on that list, but there are a few. And I mean, this is just very basic stuff, and it's stuff that people often overlook when they decide to race. They look up routes through Act 1, 2, and 3. They figure out everything they're trying to do in terms of their class and what items they want, but they often overlook like the needed stats on the items, the best things you can find. They often overlook very simple things like knowing what abilities you're going to get for every quest and what abilities help you, and also, most importantly, your build. So just things to watch out for, and I hope you all plan on participating in races. It's one of my favorite things. I love making builds. I love trying out the builds in a very controlled and limited setting. I like executing them with other people who don't have the... I really wish they would fix this, but who are forced to play solo. Regrettably, there is a problem with the game right now where you can trade items to other people in a solo race, which is really cheap. It makes grouping way too powerful, because you know how I said that I was starting out Duelist this race and then switching to Ranger? Yeah, you can just have somebody else go Duelist for you and you save like 10 minutes of your race. Like, that ruins the creative process, I think, and kind of cheeses the game. But they said they might calibrate races a bit more before they went live with races, so, I mean, obviously, just get out there and try interesting things. Who knows? This could be like the next meta, starting at Duelist. Maybe it's that good. Who knows? I don't know. But I love the creative input, and I certainly enjoy everything that goes into making a character, even if the character isn't good or completely fails or dies horribly. Some of the stuff that you want to put into your character, even if you're not playing in races, just like understanding what you want to do for your character can definitely make you a lot more confident while playing and make your build a lot better. So just tips in general for the game, and I hope you all have a great time playing the game. I hope you all enjoy Path of Exile, and as usual, if you have any questions, post them in the comments. And thanks for your time, and I'm out.